Welcome to the SOR-EHS podcast where SHEroes meet. Today, I have a friend of mine that I met while I was a school counselor. Her name is Unique, and I'm going to bring her in so that we can start spilling the tea on motherhood. Today's guest is Unique, and we're going to get started so I can start spilling the tea on motherhood. Hey, girl, hey. Hey.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
can you hear? I can. Can you hear me?
And I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
How are you?
Good, good. Can't
Yeah.
complain right now.
Oh,
Yeah, how are
good.
you?
I'm tired, but I'm
I was gonna
hanging.
say you're an early riser. I saw the time. It was 5:34. I was like, what?
It's something new I'm trying, but today it was not by choice. Today, my youngest one was up, so I have a
Uh,
choice. But I am
got
trying
it.
to get up at 5 a.m. because I need more time like for myself and to get my stuff together. And it seems the morning's the only time I can do it.
That's grown folk stuff.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl.
I remember I would never be able to do that, and that's something I just kind of refuse to do.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's hard. I did a 5 a.m. spin class. So that got my butt up and I paid money for it. So that's what
Right.
jump started me getting up early because I was like, if I could do this, then I could just get up. No
Okay.
problem.
Okay. Yeah. No, I tried that. Gym. Mm-mm.
Didn't work for you.
Nope. Nope. I'm just not a very good morning person.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hey, it ain't for everybody, honey.
Yeah.
All right. So I am already recording. I'm just gonna introduce you and then we'll
Yep.
just get right into the questions. But like
Sure.
I said, it's just more of a conversation. If something
For
pops
sure.
in your mind that you think is useful, just say it. You know what I mean? Don't hold back. Just be as real as possible. Because I feel like that's what helps people the most is when people are like vulnerable and they speak their truth. Somebody else out there is dealing with the same thing you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Okay. So wait a minute. Before you even start, I see you all made up and stuff, and I just try to make myself look halfway decent because I am at the library. Now
First
I'm
of
like, should I
all,
be on camera? Should I not be on camera?
First of all, you look fine. So let's just say that. And then the camera's
Okay.
just going to keep going back and forth between us. And I'm going to chop it up and edit it. So you'll look
Okay.
fine. Trust me.
Okay.
You look
You
cute,
can
girl.
add makeup in there, and that's fine.
I'll edit you to add a little soft glow. I'll add a
There you
soft
go.
glow.
Thank you.
A soft
Perfect.
glow. All right, here we go. Thank
Yep.
you so much, Unique, for joining me today on the SOR-EHS podcast. We met when I was working as a school counselor.
Yep.
So I don't know, like 3-4 years now. Is that how long we've known each
It's
other?
about 4 years. I'm gonna
About
say it's
4 years.
about 4 years that I've been with the district, so actually a little bit longer.
Longer than that.
Maybe
Wow.
5, 6 years. Yeah.
Check us out. Time just
Mhm.
flies. Time just flies. So tell everybody how old your kids are and how many kids you have, just so everyone has context of what we're talking about here.
So I have 3 children,
Okay.
and I have the what I guess I don't know if people call it the entire all stages of life. I
Mm-hmm.
have a 22-year-old, I have a 17-year-old, and a 9-year-old who's actually turning 10 in a week. So I have
Wow.
3 girls, and they're all girls. 3 girls.
All girls, 3 girls, every different stage possible. So this is going to be a great conversation for moms because
Every
you're going to
stage.
have great advice because you've already got one that graduated high school. So there's a lot of moms
Correct.
in the thick of it right now trying to figure out how am I going to get my kid to graduate. Then you have the
Correct.
high school kid, and then you also have elementary kid. So
The
wow.
entire gamut. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So let's
The
get right into
entire
it.
female hormones, everything. I know all the stages,
Bless you. Bless you.
including
So
my own. Including my own.
So my first question is, how are you managing all of this? That's my first question. Like, what keeps you grounded? How are you handling 3 girls, 3 different stages of life, all the hormones? And then I hope you don't mind me sharing, you're actually just graduated with your degree in nursing. So you went back to
Correct.
school while you're being a
Correct.
mom and working. So this is a
Correct.
great conversation because you're like
Yes.
a great guest because literally your mom, you're a wife, you went back to
Yes.
school for
Yep.
nursing. So not just any kind of degree. You went back for
Completely
your
different field.
nursing degree, completely different field, right?
Completely.
And then you worked full time while you did that,
Yep.
while raising 3 kids. So how are you staying sane? Tell me.
Um, Honestly, I could, it's hard for me to answer that question because I really don't know how I'm keeping sane.
Right.
Um, the best I can put it is, I guess a little, it's just not caring, honestly, caring about myself, putting
Mm-hmm.
myself first and seeing the bigger picture of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I think
Sure.
that's what keeps me going. Seeing the big picture, and then when I see the big picture, I can't afford. I have to put on my blockers and not really care about what anyone has to say that's opposite of me getting to my goal.
Oh, that's good. That's
That's
good.
how I.
That's good.
That's just what I had to do. Any if you're not here to give me any kind of positive energy, push me, motivate me, then you can't be in my life at this point because I can't
Right.
handle anything else. My both hands are filled. I'm carrying something on my head. I have weight on my shoulder and my feet. It's carrying me. So I cannot take not one thing negative. Honestly, will probably tip me over.
Right. So really putting on your blockers,
Correct.
focusing on your goal, on what you're
Correct.
trying to achieve, seeing the bigger picture,
Seeing the
and
bigger picture.
anything that's negative, you just don't have time for it. You don't
I
have
don't
time for
have
that.
time for it. If you don't have
That's good.
anything positive, anything helpful, I can't hear you. I
So
can't.
making sure your circle is solid right now, like,
My circle has to be solid because, then I have my girls who really don't understand. At
correct.
least of the three, two have a hard time understanding, which are the younger ones.
Right.
The middle one wants to understand, but the reality is she's still going through her stuff. So how much does she really care? She's in that selfish mode.
Well, yeah,
And then,
teenager. Mm-hmm.
right, she's a teenager. She's 17. And then the little one really just doesn't understand and just wants mommy time. So even them, although they are negative, but then they're not negative. I don't know how to put it. It's not their fault. But even them, I have to block out because they don't understand the big picture.
Right, sure. So how different is it being a mom what age did you become a mom? Let me start with that.
When I was 22, I was actually 21.
Okay.
No. I was 22. I was actually graduating with my bachelor's. I
Okay.
found out I was pregnant when I maybe about a month before I graduated,
Okay. Okay.
and I was like, "Thank you, Lord."
Uh-huh. That you're done, right? Because it's
Right,
a
with my
lot.
bachelor's. Yeah, because
Right.
I was not planned or anything like that.
Right. How
Yeah,
different is it being a mom at 22 versus being a mom now at 39?
huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm my own worst critique, so I don't want to. I guess I'm just gonna say it flat out, and everyone can um, use it however you see fit. But
Sure.
at 22, I was definitely I was scared.
Right.
But once I had my child, I'm always a nurturer. That's just the core of who I am. So I
Right.
was very involved. I read books to my daughter. I spent a lot of time. I had a lot of energy. Everything was just about her, to be honest.
Right.
It wasn't even
Right.
about finances. I didn't care. I didn't see the big picture, honestly.
Yeah.
I just spent so much time and was just involved in having fun with her. Versus now, I'm more focused on. I guess a little bit backwards. I'm now at the level of maturity where I'm more concerned about financially taking care of them and being able to take them on
Mm.
trips and
Mm.
go travel the world.
Right.
And that I'm a different mom. I'm a
That's
different mom
good.
for each child, to be honest, for
Right.
all three. Also based on their
Right.
personalities.
That part. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also based on the
Mm-hmm.
personalities, I am a different mom. For the third one, having her at 35, quote unquote geriatric. I found that to be stupid.
Isn't that
But
funny that they call it
yeah,
geriatric pregnancy? I'm
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
In what
Whatever.
world is 35 geriatric? But anyways.
However, once I did have her,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, the pregnancy was harder. Not in terms of it was difficult, like I had complications, but I was tired.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
very tired during pregnancy.
Yeah.
And once I had her, I did not want to run around and play.
Right. Right.
Like I did with the first one. At that
Exactly.
bedtime to stay up and read books, it was just kind of different. I was like, okay, time's up. Like, I'm going
Right.
to bed. I'm tired. You're going to go to bed.
Right.
Like, patience is a little different.
Right.
Definitely.
Definitely. So it's just difference because of the age difference
Yeah.
in regards to being tired and the energy
The energy
and then
level.
and now mentally you're like, okay, when I first had my child, it was more like, oh, let's just have fun and play, and that now it's like, well,
Right.
how am I going to show you the world? And
Exactly.
and I think that's huge too, because your girls are able to see you going back to school and making something of yourself.
Correct.
Like, maybe I didn't like where I was, so I changed it. I didn't just sit and complain about my situation, because I think a lot of kids do hear moms complain about it. Like, I hate the situation I'm in, but I'm not going
Correct.
to do much about it. I'm just going to sit and be stuck in that situation. So
Correct.
I think
Correct.
that's huge of you to kind of change your situation, to say, hey, I can do something about it and I'm going to do it. Was there a
Now
part of
I
you?
do want to be an inspiration. Sorry. Go ahead.
Right. No, good. No, go. You want to be an inspiration, of
Yeah,
course.
now it's like more I want to I feel like I am a role model. I definitely didn't see myself as a role model at 22. I just saw myself as a mother. Now
Right.
I see myself in more than one half. Not I'm just not a
That's
mommy
great.
now.
Right.
I'm
Yeah. I
more than
love
that.
that.
Before I was just a mommy. So Maya had 100%, my oldest 22, mommy. The
Right.
other two, they have mommy, career woman. I don't know, love to exercise. Like to have a drink or two with her friends. Like they have
Right.
a full gamut of
But
me
I
right now.
love that, because they have a human being too. A
Yeah.
lot of times we lose ourselves in motherhood, and it's so easy to do. Like, as I tell people, I have little ones, so it's so easy to lose yourself in motherhood because they're so young and they're depending upon you for everything. But I think it's good for your
Mm-hmm.
kids to see you doing something outside of being a mom, to see you going out with your
Absolutely.
friends, because that's realistic. Like, let me teach them how to be social, because what are we trying to do?
Absolutely.
We're role models. I want you to see me go have fun, because in life I want you to go out and have fun with your friends too. So I don't want you just to see me
Absolutely.
in that mommy role. I want you to see me wearing another hat too. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
On
It
a
has its
scale,
pros and its cons, definitely.
sure. On a scale of 1 to 10, when you decided to go back to nursing school, how scared were you to take that risk? Because I think a lot of times, where I'm going with this is, moms are afraid to take risks because everything's about my kids. And right now, you have a high schooler and an elementary school. So on a scale of 1 to 10, was it easy for you to just jump in and do it? Or how scared were you to start to add something else to your plate? How scared were you? 10 being like, I
Hmm.
was so scared. 1 being like, I wasn't scared at all. I just jumped in.
Um, I'm gonna say when I finally made my decision,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say about maybe a 3, 4.
Okay.
I was not scared. I think 6, 7 years ago, and that's why I tell you, God works in mysterious ways. Nothing happens before its time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to change careers, I would say maybe 7 years ago, and I don't know how prepared I really think I was. I think I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was prepared, but I
Right.
think then if you had asked me that question, I did it, I would have been scared.
Right. Sure.
Now I
Sure.
think because now all that time has lapsed, and then everything fell into place so easily. Like the timing was just right. It just
Right.
fell without. It wasn't. There was effort, but it wasn't a lot like before. That no, I wasn't that afraid.
You were at
I was
peace
ready,
with it.
and it was. I was at peace, and again, there was. I had my blockers on. At
Right.
that point, I made up my mind. Like,
Yeah.
and once I make up my mind, that's it. When I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
and I'm certain, especially the way the chips fell,
Right. You
no
knew it
one
was
really.
time. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So you're the blockers thing. I want to pull something out with that. How do you think you learn to just be able to put up the blockers? Because I think a lot of people have a tough time with that. Like I'm thinking about my moms that are people pleasers. Okay. So a lot of times they let people into their circle because they don't know how to say no. How did you learn to kind of just say, hey, I got to block out anybody, anything that's negative? Because if you think about it, that's not an easy thing to do because a lot of people, you know, and I'm a former people pleaser. It's easy for me to just say yes, 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 and give, and I had to learn like stop doing that. So how did you learn to kind of like block out all the negative people slash things so that you could focus on yourself and your career?
Uh, Funny you mentioned people pleaser. I literally looked that word up maybe 3 days ago, four
Did
days
you
ago,
really?
because I did a Google
Mm-hmm.
search on it, and I was like, am I a people pleaser?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Because I was like, I
yeah,
don't want to be a people pleaser anymore. Like if I
right,
am, I don't want to.
right.
So the question is, how did I put up my blockers?
Like, how did you learn to just do?
I
How did
don't
you
know. I
learn to
think
put
it
up
came
your
with
blockers? You
maturity.
know? Mm-hmm.
I think it came with maturity, and we all mature at different stages in life. We all
Right.
come to that point at different stages. Some takes longer than others. I find myself to be a very late bloomer. I think I don't know if I'm doing things backwards, quote unquote. People will be like, no, it's not backwards. It's just your way. But versus, I mean, I had my kid at 22 versus waiting to be married and then have children and flying and taking all these trips. I didn't get to do that. So
Right.
now it's like I've gotten to this stage where yes, I have a 9-year-old, but I'm like, well, I'm now I yes, ultimately the big picture is for her, but at the same time I'm also kind of ready to do me and not to be
Mm,
a mommy only anymore. Like you just get to that point and I don't know how to explain it more than it's you just get there and
right.
there's I don't know how to tell someone to do that. I think it
Right.
just happens with experience
Mm-hmm.
in life. I think that's what
Right.
it is. It's experience.
Well, I think that's a good answer for all those people out there that are people pleasers are wondering like, how do I just block out the negativity and go for what I really want to do? Sometimes it comes with experience. Sometimes it comes with different circumstances where sometimes you just get
Correct.
fed up. You get fed up and you've had enough.
Correct.
And maybe you're at
Correct.
that point in your life where you haven't been fed up yet and it's going to come. And it's going to come to a point where you
Correct.
stand up and you say, I can't deal with the negativity anymore. So for all those people listening, it's coming. And sometimes people are able to be, self-starters and just say, forget it. Like I've met people that are
Correct.
very headstrong that just, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
Like I'm not a people pleaser. I don't care what you want. If it does not align with what I'm going for, then I don't have time for you. So it's one of those things that you have to learn it, I think, with
Yeah,
experience
I
and you
think so.
learn.
And then because if at one point, like I've considered myself a people pleaser at one point, I find myself to be, it's like for me, like I had to do a lot of self analyzing,
Right.
like, and I find myself to be such a positive energy person that's always there for others. And then you start to question, like, when are they going to be there for me?
Right.
No matter what. When are they
Right.
going to do what you are able to do for them? Why are
Right.
you always the person that's positive, there for people? Who's going to be there for me? You know what?
There you go.
I'm ready to be there for me. And
Right.
whoever is willing to be there, now I'll really see.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
this is,
Yeah.
and you just get to that point. You're tired. You're tired of giving, 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 and now you want to receive. And
Right.
honestly, that's where I'm at. I'm like, I don't want to give anymore. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
now. It's the core of me to give. So I'll never stop giving.
Right.
But now I want to say no because I'm taking
Right.
care of myself.
Exactly.
Because I'm doing
Right.
me, and it's
Right.
okay, and I'm all right with it.
And that's
And that goes
important.
for my kids also. That goes for my
Right.
kids, and I beat myself up with that too. But I was like, no, I'm teaching them early. I'm not
Yeah.
waiting until they're 45 to figure it out. I'm teaching them
Right.
now. Like it's
Right.
okay to say no,
Yes.
because this world is very demanding. from
Right.
all aspects, professional, personal. It's very demanding.
Yeah.
Social media, very demanding.
You said some good things. You said it's okay to say no, which is huge. And you said you're doing that and it's teaching your daughters as well. So by them seeing you say no to things and to people, it's teaching them that it's okay to say no. So you're not just telling them, hey, it's okay to say no, because as moms we get so wrapped up, it's okay to say no, but then we don't show them saying no. We're always saying yes to everybody, and they're like, but my mom told me it's okay to say no, but she never says no. So I think it's good that you're modeling that. I think that's huge. And I also think you said something good, that you're focusing on you. um a lot of moms don't do that. And a lot of moms don't give themselves permission to put themselves first. But I always use that scenario when you're on a plane and they say the plane's going down. What do they say? They say, put your safety mask on first and then put the safety mask of your child. And I literally think about that in my everyday life. Like, you have to pour into yourself, or you're not going to be able to pour into your kids. You're going to have nothing left to give them, because you're so giving, and you didn't fill your tank back up. So I think that was huge that you said that too.
That's exactly what has happened. I mean, is that I did. My 22-year-old, actually, it's funny. You will see the difference in my children. My 22-year-old is a people pleaser, and I'm trying to teach her to say no, but she learned from me when she had me. You know, when I had her, and where I was 100% mom, saying yes to everything, versus my other two, I think they'll say no easily. Easier than my 22-year-old.
Right, which is great. Hey, but that's the beauty in motherhood, is because there is no book, there's no manual. You have these kids and you are literally figuring it out yourself. And I think that's beautiful, because you learn from your first daughter, you learned what worked and what didn't work, and then you're able to do better. And you were able to do better. It's different if you have kids and you just continue to do the same thing that doesn't work. But it's like, okay, with my 22-year-old, she's a people pleaser, but I know that because that's what I was modeling. But now with my other ones, they're going to be okay with saying no. And that's huge. And that's the beauty of motherhood. That's the beauty of motherhood. Something else I want to go back and touch on that you talked about is, like you said, you thought it was the wrong way, but it's just your way. I love that. Everybody's journey is different. It's no right, no wrong in how you became a mom. It's just, once you're on that journey, it's just, how do you continue to get better? You know, so I think it's great, because there are people out there that aren't married first, you know, and they have kids, but look at you, and you're successful, and you're doing the dang on thing. So, hey, if you're out there and you're like, dang, you know, you're getting down on yourself, you can still be successful. It's your way. However you became a mom is your way, and that's okay. And I think that's good.
It's my way. I agreed. Yeah, there's no right or wrong. It's my way.
It's your way. And hey, everybody takes the journey differently, and we're all just trying to better ourselves at the end of the day.
We mature differently. Our experiences are different. Everything is different. And you have to just, go by that and do the best you can.
Correct. What do you think surprised you the most about motherhood? Like, what did you think was going to be easy and it wasn't? Or what did you think was going to be hard and it wasn't? Vice versa. Like, what surprised you the most about motherhood?
Oh boy. Honestly, I didn't realize I was going to have 3 different personalities. Again, it's not.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that how much genes play a role. And certain things are really beyond your control to some extent. Or even if it's not beyond your control, you better adapt and learn how to deal with that personality based on that gene. It doesn't have to be negative. How you have to be kind of like a psychologist. It's like a degree to motherhood. Like, you got to learn how to work with that personality to get the best from it, instead of looking at it in such a negative light, which it can be if you don't change your mindset. Because I have 3 different personalities, which honestly I thought I was just they're mine. Like, they're my kids.
Right. I mean? This should be easy. This is no problem.
No, girl.
Right. That's good.
3 different
personalities. So that gave me a follow-up question. How do you deal with because if the personality is just like yours, you'd be able to be better equipped to deal with it, because it's like dealing with yourself, even though that's hard because you have to look at yourself in the mirror every day. Okay, that's hard. But how did you deal with personalities that aren't like yours? How do you, and then you said pull the best out of them. So how are you able to navigate that?
I'm still learning. I don't have the answer to that. I am literally still learning.
Right.
My first one, easy peasy. I mean, there were no issues. Do as I say.
Yeah.
If I say jump, it's like, how many times, Mom? How high and where exactly do you want me to jump? Literally, she just obeys me. The second one was more like, why? Why do you want me to jump? I need a good reason, because that makes no sense.
Right.
The third one is like, no, I don't want to jump. You know, like, give them one reason. No, I don't feel like it now. You know, like, so they're all so different. And I am that parent of that was, you know, we are all, you know, products of our environment, where my parents said jump and you did it.
You jump. Yeah.
There was no questions about it.
Yeah.
But now you have the influence of social media. There's just so much more that's raising your children that I don't have the answer more than, again, I try to be, at least. I try to be such a positive energy that when I do see the negative, I do make mistakes. And sometimes I do get caught up in the negativity. But I love my children so much. I refuse. I just absolutely refuse for the negativity, for them to be the negativity. I don't want it. I don't want that for them. So
I love that.
As a mom first, I'm a mom first always, no matter what. I just don't let it take over. But that's who I am first.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I'm just willing to do anything to turn the positive the negative into a positive. To learn how to. Because I'm still learning.
So you just try something and you're like, that didn't work, let me try something else. That didn't work, so you just constantly trying until you finally, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you can't, I mean, they're mine. They're mine. You have to. You cannot stop, and you cannot let everyone jump on that negativity about them too. You know, it's like, as educators, you know, we take our kids to the doctor, let's say, or even a teacher, they're quick to say, oh, they're ADD, they're ADHD. Like you,
put a label.
That might be the case. They might be dealing with that, but that's not who they are. So let's see how we can work that. Like, that's how I try. Okay, so my child might be a little bit, you know, she might be temperamental. Let's work on that. You know what I mean? Let's work. How can we make this better?
Let's work with them. Let's work with them. Let's not label them. So yes, maybe the kid is ADHD. Okay, great. That's what they are. I'll deal with that at home and with doctors and things. But how are we going to help them succeed in life? That is the goal when you are putting them out in the world with teachers, with anybody. It's like, okay, well, how
I don't
are we
even see why we even need to talk about it. To be honest, I don't even see why we need to talk about it at all. I just feel like we need to be able to, like you said, work with them. I don't see why we have to have any names or anything. Let's work with this personality. You know, we all learn,
because that's real. And when they go out in the workforce, their bosses and their coworkers are going to have to work with them. So it's real. I like that.
Well, the bosses, they hire you because they pulled from that positivity, from that attribute that you're going to bring to the table. They're not looking at the negative, but they hire you. They know there's negatives there, but they hired you for that one thing only that you better do well on. You know?
Well, yeah, that's a whole different story.
Right.
Once you get in there. So what do you do for self-care? Because you have so much on your plate at this point in time. You know, you're being pulled in a million different directions. What do you do to take care of you? What does that look like?
So let's see what I've done. Honesty. I indulge. I like to drink. Okay. I do have I like to drink. I like to be around adult company. I like to be around adult company. Adults that are just positive. Again, positive. I don't want to talk. I don't want to whine. I don't want to complain. Sometimes we can have our moments where we, you know, we break down and we talk, but we're supporting each other. And then it's like, okay, brush it off. Let's move on. You know, I don't want to be with anything where we're sitting and sulk. I can't take sitting and sulk for too long. Yes, it happens. You have to sulk for a moment, but we got to push on and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that has that. So for self-care, honestly, having a drink, hanging around positive people. My children, when they're in a positive mode, I enjoy being with them. When they're in because they are girls, hormonal, they get in their mode. I gotta like back off, walk away,
Right, right. Well,
go
yeah,
do
that's
something.
real. That's
Yeah,
real.
I can't. Sometimes I have to, like my 17-year-old, even my
Right,
9-year-old, she gets in her sulking mood. I'm like, I'm gonna go in my room
right,
until you're ready,
right.
for us to be positive together. But mainly that. I just like to go out. I love to travel. I haven't had well, that's a lie. I went to Jamaica actually
Mm-hmm.
last year
Yep.
with my mother. I
Mm-hmm.
went to Jamaica last year with my mother,
I
which
saw the
was
pictures.
so needed. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, that was a huge, huge self care. And Jennifer, when
Good,
I say I disconnected from
good, good.
everyone, and I had no guilt,
Right,
none,
good, good.
none, zero. Like, I remember in the past going away and missing my kids. I did not.
Right.
Because I know they're there.
Exactly. Because and you knew they
I
were in good hands. You knew they were in good hands. So I can
was
go
like,
and do me. Yeah.
I was like, they gonna be there.
Right. And they're fine. And they're fine.
Yes, I needed it so badly. So
I'm so
that
glad you got that.
traveling,
Mhm.
I did go to Costa Rica by myself for the first time.
Oh, nice.
For the
I
first
didn't know
time,
that. Check you
I
out.
did.
Good for you.
I went, and I won't lie to you. I went for 5 days by
Uh-huh.
myself, and I stayed at the resort.
Uh-huh.
3 days, fabulous. By the third night, I was like, "Where's my husband? Where are my kids?" Note to self: 3 days will be my max by myself.
3 days is
I
good.
probably by myself, just
Yeah.
literally not knowing anyone. 3 days is good.
Right.
Anything more than three, I kind of need. I'm like ready for company.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I
that was
haven't
a
worked
learning
up to
lesson.
that yet, but that's one of my
Hard.
goals in life to be able to travel by myself. I have not worked up to that yet. One
Yeah,
day. One
that was
day.
a challenge. But again, with the nursing school has pushed me to do a lot. It's pushed
Right.
me definitely to do a lot because
Right.
again, it's I learned so much about myself personally.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you take on something like that and you have all these other hats that you wear, I know it was a learning experience.
yeah,
You said
yeah.
something good that I want to go back to before we wrap up. You
Uh-huh.
said with your girls, like sometimes when they're in a mood, you just let them go and you just kind of let them do their thing, and then you're like, hey, when you're feeling better or when you're in a better mood, let's come back and talk. And I walk away and go to my room. I think a lot of times we don't do that. A lot of times as parents, it's like we want to fix it. Like, oh, you're mad, you're sad. Okay, let me try to fix it. Or you're in a bad mood, let me try to fix it. But they're humans. And sometimes I think it's okay to just let them have their moment because they're feeling whatever they're feeling. Let them go and let me go and do something for myself as well. Go
Well,
and be by myself if I need to. And I think that's big.
let me tell you, I didn't learn that by myself.
Okay.
My 17-year-old actually probably yelled at me one day
Oh,
and
okay. This is good.
like caught me off guard. And instead of yelling back, it kind of like shut me up, to be honest,
Right.
where
Right.
I was just like, you know what? You're right. Cause like
Right.
I'm fighting a losing battle by like trying to fix, like literally she did say that. She was like, like let me be. You always want to fix stuff. You can't fix it. Like I just need time. Like stop
Mm,
doing that. Like she got very frustrated and it
mm.
gave me I thought about it and I was like, you're right.
That's
Like
good though.
for myself, I'm like, I'm getting myself worked up. For what?
Right. Yeah.
Do
And
you?
I'm like, this is preaching to me because even with my kids at 3 and 1, with my
Mhm.
3-year-old, if she's in like a mood, I'm always trying to like do something silly to try to make her mood like happier. And I have to learn, and this is good for me, is I have to just like let her be. She's 3, she's feeling all these big feelings, and I'm always trying to like fix it. But sometimes we just don't feel good. We just are in a mood, and that's okay, because even as adults, we get in our own moods and attitudes, and we don't want to be bothered. So I think it's good as moms, like sometimes your kids, if your kid's in a mood, and you don't need to fix it, let them come to you and tell you when they need help, or when they want your help, they can come and tell you. So I think that's
The
good.
nature of our mom. We always want to fix it.
Right. It's
Sometimes you just
true.
have to know when to. I've always, like I said, I didn't learn that I learned that through trial and error.
Right. And hopefully now that you just shared that with us, some other moms will take that, because that was a good takeaway for me. I took away
Yeah.
a lot of gems from this interview, so I do thank you. I do want to leave on self-care is so important. Unique was sharing that adult company. I think that's huge. If you're married, if you're dating someone, I think you need to get out and date at least once a month, every couple of weeks. Have adult company and talk to somebody other than your kids. I think that is so important, because you can easily lose yourself in parenting. And I think it's you're too important as a person on this planet to lose yourself in parenting. So adult company, travel if you can afford it, of course. If you like to indulge in alcohol like we do, have a drink whenever
Right.
you feel, whenever you need to, whenever you want to, go ahead and have a drink. I think that was great. So thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us over here on the SOR-EHS podcast, where SHEroes meet and moms. You guys are my SHEroes. Thank you so much, Unique.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Are you going back to studying?
I am.